Welcome to another edition of This Week in Agriculture, a production of the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives. This Week in Agriculture is aimed at highlighting achievements and promoting upcoming events. I am your host, Karima Lewis.
Agriculture and lands, fisheries and cooperatives, linking every sector, promoting food and nutrition security and climate-smart sustainable agriculture, embracing our youth and seniors in national development.
Minister of State with responsibility for agriculture and lands, fisheries and cooperatives, Senator Adrian Thomas, recently led senior agricultural officials and heads of departments in a one-day symposium reviewing the Praedial Larceny and crop compensation legislations aimed at addressing issues affecting the agricultural sector. The exercise was geared at finding practical solutions to ongoing issues plaguing farmers and stakeholders. The ministerial team is prepared to take a hands-on approach to a number of other issues. While ministry officials were engaged in a closed-door session bent on addressing the issue of the theft of agricultural produce with dire consequences to members of the farming and fishing communities and the overall development of the sector, farmer Robert Augustine AKA Robullous of St. David stormed Grenada's biggest cultural event with his composition, The Farmer, driving home the frustration farmers face to the vexing issue of Praedial Larceny.
Are you ready? I is a farmer walking at any land. I planted me shot cup and I planted me provision. But here some people nowadays why they do easy. Let me hear you sing it and you know it. And nearly take out the hand. The same man who dig me yam in me land. Now I bury me in the melon. I know easy you cut on me gun. Hold him, hold him, hold him. Bury him, bury him, bury him. Grab him, grab him, grab him.
That rendition sealed the second place at the 2023 Soca Mona competition and tied for the road match title. The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives is expecting a significant decrease in preparation cost normally paid for compost each year, ahead of the plant distribution season. This is as a result of the contribution of the Australian Direct Aid Programme with support from the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture.
The composting facility at Mirabeau is expected to serve the propagation stations along with the farming community, as the intention is to use the facility as a site where farmers and gardeners can learn about the art of composting. This donation was made possible through support from the Direct Aid Programme, DAP, which is a flexible small grants program through which the Australian government supports development projects that contribute to sustainable economic growth and poverty reduction through the Brown to Gold project developed by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture ICA to strengthen community composting. While there is the anticipated reduction in the cost of materials, particularly potting medium for plants, this technology is easy to implement and produces a substrate that can be used to provide nutrients for plants, and also means that all farmers will also use fewer chemicals in their fields. With this site being identified as a training site, The first individuals to utilize this site for capacity building were members of the Backyard Gardeners Network Initiative, BGNI.
I learned something good from the session that I could go home and try and teach others about compost. Instead of using chemical stuff, it's best to use the dry grass and the piece of stick and the cow manure. That's the better thing for farmers especially. I encourage everybody to use compost manure. Create their own compost and the plant is going to be more healthier.
There are a lot of farmers who are not in the culture of composting. When you look globally, you would realize that there are a lot of problems in the world today. So it have me thinking the reason why I'm here today is that what are the alternatives in terms of if there is a shortage of fertilizers, what would you do? So today, the session been very informative, where I was able to learn the different materials that are needed and the different proportions and ratios that are needed in order to have a successful compost bin.
The facility at Mirabeau is one of 2 facilities that will be set up in Grenada to encourage the art of composting and to help build the capacity of farmers and gardeners. The other composting facility will be set up at the Caribbean Agriculture and Research Development Institute at Cardi in Wester Hall.
Meantime, the sale of plants to farmers and homeowners continues at 3 of the 4 propagating stations on island. Over 65,000 plants were prepared for this year's plant distribution season. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives sounded a reminder to farmers and the general public that the subsidized plants are meant to make a major inroads into Grenada's food security drive and as such are not for resale.
We have a situation where there are persons who are capitalizing on what we are doing here. They're coming, they're buying the plants cheaply for $2 and $5, and they are going and resell it for $15 and $20. I just want to signal that I've already indicated to the staff here at the station, the plants are not for resale. It has never been. The plants are intended for farmers to go and establish productive fields. And so we expect the agronomy division and the extension division to work closely to make sure that all the plants that will be distributed would go in the field and not in a place for resale.
Poverty reduction, food security, and reducing Grenada's food importation bill are among objectives of the community drive undertaken by the UNDP in collaboration with SIAP. Over 10,000 plants will be distributed throughout the rural parishes, including Carriacou and Petite Martinique. The Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Windward Islands Research and Educational Foundation, WINDREF, is continuing a series of one-week training course for operators of fishing vessels up to 34 feet on mainland Grenada. This program is funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization. All fishers completing this training course will receive a certificate and a Level 2 captain's permit. Please take note of the assigned dates for training. St. George, August 28th to September 1st, 2023. St. Andrew and St. David, September 4th to the 8th. St. Mark and St. Patrick, September 11th to the 15th. St. John, September 18th to 22nd, 2023. All interested fishers are asked to contact the Fisheries Division or your District Fish Market Center for registration and further information. The agricultural census, which is usually held every 10 years, will be conducted this year from September to December 2023. Farmers are encouraged to give their fullest cooperation to the census enumerators. The census is aimed at collecting key information on the state of the agricultural sector. So remember, September to December is the assigned time frame for the 2023 agricultural census. Did you know that the last agricultural census conducted in 2012 revealed over 9,300 farmers, with 1/3 of them being female? Farmers are encouraged to give their fullest cooperation to the census enumerators. And that's a wrap on This Week in Agriculture. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Karima Lewis.
Agriculture and lands, fisheries and cooperatives, linking every sector, promoting food and nutrition security, and climate-smart sustainable agriculture, embracing our youth and seniors in national development.